What's up, man? What's up? What's good, Marco?
The Magic Man.
What's happening with you, my guy?
Just chilling, just finished working out. You too, huh?
Yeah, I just got mine in, man. I'm in there now. So
You trying to? I saw your video. You're gonna turn around the
hey,
fitness?
today's my first day, man. I'm gonna be the finest 54-year-old in the world by the end of the year. You feel me?
So you going for weight loss or how you look? What are you going for?
I'm just going for fitness, bro. I'm bodybuilding, damn. I just want to be the best Antonio Tarver I can be at 54. So I'm gonna get back in the gym, get these muscles flexed out, stretched out, man, and see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm preserved for a reason, bro. You feel me? I got the fountain of youth, and I gotta let the world know what my secret is.
Yeah.
But it's mindset, man. Mindset over everything. And I'm taking a fitness challenge. I really want to see how great a shape I can get in at this age. So by the end of the year, man, I want to be the best looking, best conditioned, I can be for no other reason than just because I love myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, you always look young, so you always look young to begin with. So I guess it's not. And when you've been boxing as long as you have, your body, I feel like if you want to turn it on, you could do that easy. Turn on, get in shape. You could do that easy.
But another thing though, if you don't use what you got, you can lose what you got. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to put it to work, man, or it's just going,
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is your son still fighting?
Yeah, he trained, he getting the shit together. You feel me? But again, man, it's a tough sport. It's a tough sport. When you make up in your mind, you commit that this is what you want to do. You don't have to look behind you. Just keep going forward. A lot of times, fighters can't commit. They can't commit, and even when they commit, they can't make those sacrifices that it takes. So it's a lot, man. And
Well,
you can want this for someone, but they gotta want it for themselves because
right.
you can't do it for them. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this. Like, when I fought, I experienced this. Boxing, for me, was very emotionally draining. So, you would do a camp, you would fight, then afterwards, emotionally, you'd just be like, Jesus, that was a lot. So, for me, that was my hurdles. Did you ever find, that it emotionally drained you?
I mean, at times, but nothing can emotionally drain you to the point where it stops you from progressing.
Right.
You feel me? You're gonna have bad days, of course. You're gonna have days where you feel like, you didn't achieve everything you wanted, but those are the days you got to keep coming back. You see what I'm saying? It gets better. You can't falter under pressure. It's just no excuse for that. You feel me?
Right.
You either in this all the way or you're not. That's why guys come up short. They don't sell out for the game. You feel me?
Right.
So it's levels to this.
Right.
It's levels to commitment. It's levels to sacrifice. Some guys only go so far. Some guys will go all the way to see what's on the other side of that rainbow. You feel me?
Right.
So, it's levels to this, man. You gotta love what you do, bro. And it's different passions. It's levels to this. That's all I can say.
Was it hard for you to walk away, when your career ended?
I mean, at that time, yeah, because I felt like I had a lot more to give, of course. But you got to accept life on life terms sometimes. You know what I mean? It took me a while to accept, reality. But, once you do that, then, you okay with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everything go as planned. Everything ain't going to go always like you want it to go. But you just got to keep pushing, man, at the end of the day. You feel me? Life don't stop there. Life don't stop until it ends.
Right.
It ain't over till it's over. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wanted a shot at the heavyweight title. Everybody knew that. That was my goal. I knocked out a top 10 heavyweight. I felt like I deserved that or earned the shot, but didn't get it for whatever reason. Didn't get it. That was a bitter sweet type of situation because I don't think I finished what I truly started. Even though I had some great nights, I've won a lot, you know what I mean? Unforgettable moments in the ring, but I didn't finish what I wanted. I set out a goal to become heavyweight champion. I didn't get that opportunity. You know what I mean? That kind of is a bittersweet situation for me.
How hard was it for you to make 75?
I'm a big guy, bro. You know, I'm 6'2". You know, I've always been a big light heavyweight. I mean, but you know, losing weight is part of the game, bro. That's forever and a day. That's been part of the game. I mean, so I never really looked at it. It was just my job. It was my responsibility. But hindsight, everybody should know that I outgrew the light heavyweight division long before I moved up to cruiserweight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I personally felt that it was going to be the big guys, the heavyweights, that I would have really been able to really show the real magic. You feel me? Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen myself matched up against some of the guys that were coming on then. You know what I'm saying? You can go back to the fight where I beat Jonathan Banks, and you can hear who Teddy Atlas thought would be a great fight for me in my next fight. You feel me? You can go back. It was on ESPN. Go back and listen to Teddy Atlas after the fight. Mm-hmm. He told you right there who he thought would be a great match for me at that time.
Right.
At that time. So
when I spoke to Buddy McGirt, he told me that the two fighters that he worked with that had the most unbelievable talent, the most naturally talented people that he worked with were Vernon Forrest and you.
I mean, I can agree with that.
I know you can.
I mean, Buddy gonna tell it like it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, Buddy tell it like it is. You know, how can you doubt that though? When you look at my history, how can you doubt that?
I mean, I'm still mad at you for what you did.
From amateur to pro, how can you doubt that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, love me or hate me.
No, and
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you know, so to make light heavyweight, was it a real struggle for you? Because I remember we talked and we brought up the whole thing about Roy, how Roy was like, he got drained, and you said, well, you don't think I was losing weight? Was that like real tough for you to make those weights?
I just told you it was my duty. It was my job. It was what I had to do, bro. There ain't no toughness in that. It's just a responsibility. As a champion, you got to make weight. No matter how you do it, that's just your contract. You know what you got to do.
So at what point is it too much weight to lose to where it's affecting your body? You know what I mean?
Marco, I don't know. Each man is for himself, bro.
Right.
Each for himself.
Right.
I don't know that.
For you? What like you couldn't have made super middle, right?
Yeah, if I cut off a leg. If I cut off a leg, I can make super middle.
So no super middle. Oh man, that's crazy. So I wanted to talk to you about that crazy fiasco at the exhibition, man. I know you probably talked about this a bunch, but you were commentating the fight, right?
Yep.
And then the shit broke out, right? And I heard what you said, where Gotti. I mean, what was Gotti doing? He was probably just kind of shook, like he didn't really know what to do, so he was just holding the whole fight.
I mean, the man was boxing, bro. He was in there trying to do what he needed to do. But, you know, again, he was in there with a seasoned professional champion, a guy that got all the experience in the world. Of course, you know, he's going to be a fish out of water when it comes down to boxing. Mm-hmm. But truth be told, I mean, the only thing the man didn't do was let his hands go. Right. I mean, when you look at his posture and his form, he looked like a fighter.
Yeah.
He wasn't crossing up his feet. He wasn't, you know, ducking to the point where he was covering his eyes. I mean, he was there. You know, he belonged, but he just didn't have enough tools in the tool shed. You feel me? He don't have enough experience to really dance with a guy like Floyd Mayweather. But if he would have brought the energy that he did after the fight was called off, it could have been a more competitive, more interesting exhibition.
No, I agree with you. His body language didn't scream amateur. It screamed like, okay, he knows what he's doing a little bit.
I mean, for what he has he knew his position, but he didn't let his hands go in fear of what was coming back. And that's what experienced pros do. They put these guys on defense. you know, all the time. You know, they're thinking about what's coming back. Floyd still was, his timing and his rhythm and his quickness was still there. He still had a lot more
Right.
than Gotti, you know. But again, you saw if Gotti would have been more aggressive, let his hands go, you never know. It would have been more competitive.
So
they got a grudge match, which everyone is saying, you know, it should be a rematch, and it happens
I mean,
8 rounds, you know.
do you think it was a case of like that old thing you used to see back in the school days where somebody, they're not doing anything, and as soon as somebody comes and grabs them, then they're like, let me go, because that seemed like what he did as soon as the referee stopped the fight. Then he won the fight.
And then again, you got to understand, I mean, the moment, that was a big fight, brother. I mean, Gotti ain't used to that. I mean, you gotta get used to those lights. So of course the guy was reacting off impulse. The fight was stopped. I mean, I don't know why he just didn't go back to his corner. But I just want to let it be known, bro, that Floyd conducted himself like a consummate pro. I mean, even when the fight was stopped, he wasn't looking to be aggressive. You know, it was Gotti's camp. It was Gotti and his camp that started the whole melee. Because I just think Gotti was not used to those lights. It was a big moment. And when the referee, Kenny Bayless, called a fight, I mean, he didn't really know what to do. He reacted, you know, out of desperation, and I think he just lost it for a minute.
Right.
And
well, let me ask you this, because it looked to a lot of people like that fight was stopped off excessive shit talking, which doesn't really happen. Do you agree with that stoppage?
It was the exhibition, so you know, hindsight is always 20/20. But when you're a referee in the ring, man, you gotta maintain control of the fight, no matter what's going on. You gotta respect the third man in the ring. So you know, both guys was very hostile. They was very animated, and like I said, it was two big, huge brands. And when those brands came together on this platform, it was a lot of energy, You can feel it. You know, even at the weigh-in, it was a lot of tension and energy for this just to be an exhibition. So it was a lot of other components going on there. But again, it was a great production, and I want to take my hat off to, you know, Mayweather's camp, you know, everybody that made that event possible. Zeus, my man Brent, you know, Brent Johnson, the whole crew, man, they did a fantastic job. It was practically a sellout. The inner building was amazing. All the stars and stuff came out. So, you know, hats off to Mayweather and what he's doing with these exhibitions, man. You know, people want to see it. People were excited about it. So, yeah, I mean, it was a successful event.
Yeah, it looked good.
To say the least, it was a successful event, bro.
Right, it looked good. I mean, so was this a case of kind of like what happened again with Bo and Galata, where like, why did the fighting spill over now into the people in the audience and backstage? Like, what do you think caused all that? Just the energy or what?
No, you see, again, there was a situation that was going on between two reality stars, but you know, we thought it was an isolated incident, but we realized hindsight that they had some history and they had already been threatening each other online. So that was a situation that, you know, when they saw each other, it was going to pop off anyway because of the build.
Oh, you're talking about Jocelyn and the other girl.
Yeah, that was some stuff that they was personal. You know, that was a you know, so that didn't really have anything to do with the event. It's just two girls are out there on social media capping off, and when they saw each other, they went at it, unfortunately.
Were there other fights happening that you saw, like, beyond those two girls?
I mean, I didn't personally see no fights but that, man. I just walked into that, you know what I mean? I was leaving the situation from ringside, and then when I went back there, the fight was already going on, I mean, but no, I don't condone that. I don't condone any fighting outside of the boxing ring, bro, because you can express yourself in the boxing ring, beat somebody's ass, and you ain't got to go to jail for it. So, you know, that's the place where all of this should be taking place.
Right. No, and you were handling it well. You were trying to kind of mediate. You were trying to calm the situation, but there's only so much you could have done.
I was just trying to verbally get them to stop, but, you know, I knew I wasn't going to touch nobody, wasn't going to let nobody touch me. But, nah, I mean, verbally, I was trying to get everybody to just stop what they were doing because it was unnecessary for one, and it didn't make any sense for two. Um, but again, with all the drama and all that, I mean, I must say, man, I had the best weekend of my life, man. I had a really good time, man. It was long overdue,
It was
and
fun.
with the drama, man, it was exciting. So, yeah, that's what it's all about, bro.
So I don't think we've talked since this, but I know it's happened a while ago. But who did you have winning the Haney Loma fight?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I voiced my opinion on Tarver's take. It was a close fight, very close fight, but I think the champion, being undisputed, I mean, I don't think his titles was taken that night. Lomo had some good moments in the fight. Haney controlled some rounds where you had to give it to the champ. At the end of the day, it was a close fight, 7-5. I mean, it could have been a draw, but again, the man retained his titles. And I don't know what some of these people was going on about. They want to always bring the race card involved. I hate that, bro, because it ain't about that. It should never be about that. But again, people express themselves, and I don't think zebras lose their stripes. You feel me? So a lot of times they go to that because that's the only thing they can identify with. You feel me? And it's sad.
Right.
So, I'm trying to be the unbiased voice of boxing, bro.
Right.
Unbiased voice of boxing, because I don't give a damn if my son in there. If he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, I'm going to call it like I see it.
You have to.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's just how it is, bro. And I've always been able to do that, because at the end of the day, bro, you gotta love to put the sport before anything.
Right. And then we have the big fight. I spoke with Bomac. I spoke with Derek James. How do you see that happening? What do you see happening there?
It's a pick 'em fight, man. I mean, how can you pick one over the other? Because you can find reasons for both of these great fighters to win. You can see how Crawford can win. You can see how Errol Spence can win. But I can tell you what, I really like that Spence is really coming out of shell a little bit and really showing that dog that everybody that truly knows him knows that he has in him. I love the fact that he's coming out. He's candid. He's candid with his sound bites. You feel me? And
agreed.
I like that energy that he's giving. He said, "Hey man, you ain't gonna catch the big fish with a fishing pole. You feel me? I'm the biggest." So I like that energy, and I think Crawford was a little bit taken back when you look at that press. When you look at the press conference, because the battle of war has already begun. And when you look at the energy that Errol Spence brought to that press conference, it was refreshing. It was new. It was refreshing. And I don't think everyone really thought Errol Spence was that verbal.
Yeah.
But I like that from him. And that just goes to show you that this fight is going to be a tug of war, bro. They're not going to give an inch. And I predict that the first 3 rounds of this fight could mirror Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler.
Wow.
But who's going to be Hagler and who's going to be Hearns? That's what we're going to have to figure out and look forward to seeing.
So you see
I don't think with this energy, I don't think this fight going the distance, bro. I think one of these fighters are going to get clipped early, and it's going to be one of the most beautiful things we've seen in boxing in a long time.
So you think that they're just going to start banging out from the opening bell?
They going to let their hands go, bro. They're going to let their hands go. Yeah, because styles make fights, and I just don't see this fight going any other way. You feel me? I think Spence going to come out with that dominating jab. Errol going to have to draw the line in the ring, and he's going to have to, man up. Man up. Right. If he prevent man down. If he want to prevent man down, he's going to have to man up. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, but I like Bud. I just think Bud set them traps. Bud is one of the best counter punchers in the business. And he don't just counter you. He set that counter punch up where it's an explosion all of a sudden.
Kind of reminded me how you did it a little bit, no?
I mean, I told you I see a lot of resemblance of how I approach the game with Bud Crawford when I say he really don't see none of those guys. he really don't see none of those guys, and I didn't see none of those guys. I don't care what the name was. It didn't matter to me, bro. You feel me? And I just think Crawford feels the same way.
One thing that kind of surprised me, I don't know if it surprised you, but there was a size difference, and it seemed kind of noticeable. Do you think that's going to make any difference?
Well, I thought it was a size different watching them on film, but when they did the face-off, it wasn't that big of a size difference as I thought.
Okay.
So we don't know. We don't know, but again, Errol Spence may get bigger on fight night, but that might not be best for him. You feel me? Because he's much bigger and stronger. He might need to be quick. He might need to be swift. You feel me? For this fight. You know, he's saying he's going to break Crawford down. I think he needs to have a plan B and a plan C in case that aggressiveness don't work. He might have to fight out of his counter punching stance. He might have to let Crawford throw and counter. You feel me? He might have to fight out of his defense in order to get Crawford where he wants him. So don't go in there thinking that you're just going to move forward, track him down, and break him, because you might be falling into one of his traps doing that. You feel me? Sometimes that false sense of security can be your biggest detriment in boxing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great take, man. Shifting gears to the lighter guys, we just saw Teofimo do something that I don't think a lot of people expected him to do in that fashion. Who do you think, because that 135 and 140, both those divisions are stacked, right? And who do you think is the top fighter when you look at all the, what is it, about 5 or 6 of those guys?
Well, Tank Davis definitely is the man at one of those weight classes. 35, sure. 40 is the toss-up. A lot of those 135 pounders, they've been shrinking down to get down there. And 140 is what I think they all going to settle at.
Yeah.
You know, Lopez, man, he's saying retirement. Hopefully that's just a hoax and he can get back. And don't lose the momentum. Don't lose the momentum, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me? Playing around, don't lose the momentum. Yeah. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You got the sport by the throat right now.
Yep.
You feel me? Use that as leverage, bro, and get what you want out the game. Don't fall back and let all these other guys catch up. You feel me? Don't do that. I wouldn't advise you to do that.
I think he's going through what I brought up before, where it's emotion. I think he's emotionally he needs to step away for a second. That's what it seems like.
I mean, well, you can't walk in. Nobody can walk in his shoes. Nobody really knows what the man is up against, what he's going through. We know he has some personal issues there he's trying to work out.
Yeah.
It's been tough. But, man, you got to take your hat off to him to be able to compartmentalize all the drama and be able to show up on fight night and let it all hang out without any distractions right there in your hometown. That shows character. This man has the character of a champion, and I think that he really needs to think about it. He could have a run that the next year could see that he possibly could be talking about being one of the greatest accomplished fighters that we've seen. I mean, he has an opportunity to become, you know, legitimately linear 3-time division champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he go up and beat a guy like Devin Haney, bro, he 3-time undisputed almost. I don't think anybody has had that much success in 3 different weight classes. Yeah. That'd be crazy.
I think him versus Tank is a fight. I personally think Tank is probably the best fighter out of that crop. I think Tank doesn't get enough props for his boxing skill. They just think he's like a banger, but Tank can box.
Of course, we know that. Tank got it all, bro. He got the attitude. He got the ability to boxing, timing. He has power. I mean, Tank is almost a complete fighter if you put the defensive part in there. You know, if he can, you know, make these guys miss a lot more. I mean, it's going to be hard out for anybody. He's going to be tough to beat. But you got a guy like Shakur Stevenson. You know, if he can find his power, you know, it'll be hard to, you know, say that those guys can beat him. So the talent it's a pool of talent, man. And, you know, the cream always rises to the top. Right now, Teofimo is the cream of the crop. in the 135-pound division. He moved to 140. It's going to bring a lot of excitement. Teofimo and Tank will be an instant classic with those two guys.
Yep.
Man, so you can really do a round robin with 5 or 6 of these guys at the top and do a Super Six, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a great, that because it's been a long time since there's been so many top fighters in one division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I guess lastly, let's move over to the heavyweight division, which is kind of you have a lot of talent, but it's kind of stagnant. I mean, why do you think Usyk and Fury aren't fighting? Because we've been seeing a lot of this lately. Like not back in your day where the best would fight the best. Now there's a lot of politics and a lot of A-side, B-side bullshit involved. Like, what do you think is stopping these big fights?
There was a lot of that going on back then too, man. I'm not sure, man. Usyk with his, national thing that they got going on over there in Ukraine, that could be one of the issues. Yeah, I think with his country, he got more important things to be thinking about right now. I mean, we want to see that fight, but don't really know what Usyk is. Tyson Fury, if he really wanted to fight, can make it. He's the man in the division. Yeah, the heavyweight division right now is pretty much stagnant. They're going to have to get somebody in there. I see Wilder is in Miami. Him and Malik Scott still working together, working hard. We want to really see what they're working on, and if that has translated into, Wilder becoming a better heavyweight that can truly catch up and pass these guys, get him one more shot at everything. You know what I mean? So the heavyweight can be one of those glamour divisions, but these guys got to get active. Tyson Fury, he fat with it right now. He obese with it, when it comes down to his status and money. So it's hard to get him out of bed right now. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, those guys just got to find the hunger again, man. And like I said, make it about the game. Go ahead and put your face on Mount Rushmore if that's where you at. If not, give us the undisputed championship, win that, and do what you want to do. You know what I mean? So I think Fury still holds the keys, and the Usyk fight has to happen. We'll have an undisputed heavyweight champion for the first time in a long time. And then we'll see if they can defend against, I think, the next best heavyweight in Wilder. And I think that's how that whole situation should unfold.
And they got one guy that's biting at their ankles, at their heels, Jared Anderson, who I think might be the next up and comer.
Yeah, it's Jared Anderson's gonna have to do something great to catch up with this crop of guys right now. Take care of my guy. To catch up with the crop of guys right now. He's still young. He's untested. I think he's fighting ex-champion Charles Martin, which we don't. Charles Martin is coming in as a late replacement. We don't know what Prince Charles is going to bring to the table, but for a few rounds, we should be able to see really what Jared Anderson is on.
Mm-hmm.
But the jury is still out. This could be one of those young kids that put it all together in 1 year and maybe have one of those big-name fighters give him an opportunity to really thrust his name up there with the guys that are hovering around the top right now. I mean, he's going to have to beat a credible opponent, a credible heavyweight, and I don't think Prince Charles is that name yet, but he's going to have to beat a top 10 heavyweight to get his name up in that top echelon of the heavyweight division right now.
Right. Because all these top heavyweights are in their mid-30s. Eventually the new crop is going to start rising to the top. We got to see who that's going to be. Yeah,
he looks like the best young prospect out there, though, for sure.
I think so. Too. Look, man. Thanks for talking to me. I know you got shit to do. Let's talk again soon.
For sure, man. Tap in anytime, Marco. You got to stay tapped in with the Magic Man, man.
Absolutely. All right, man.
Take care, Marco. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, please subscribe and smash that like button. And if there's any fighters you want us to interview or anything else, any questions or comments, hit us up. We're here for you.